What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Ali, your favorite eccentric SLO-mad. You guys, I am live coming to you. Hopefully, this comes over clear and you guys can hear me well. I got my mic on today, so we're gonna see how things go. Please let me know in the comments. I'm sure you will. But today is gonna be like a really simple topic, something that I've talked about before in the past, but I just saw another video today of a lady talking about going and getting cash before coming to Thailand. And so all in the comments is, but wait, do we have to do that? Do we need to go to Travelex beforehand? Do we need to go and exchange money? Do we need to take out USD and then do an exchange from USD to Thai baht? And her reasoning behind it was because some other people had issues, and so she just wanted to be safe. But I'm going to dispel the myth and explain some new, because short of just saying no, you shouldn't do something, I think you need to understand why some people prefer to do it. So you're going to have a couple different types of travelers in these, on these videos and commenting and things like that. And so I want you to make sure you think about that when you're listening to the content and when you are reading some of the comments, okay? So before we get into all of that, if you guys are new to my channel, I am everything travel. I haven't been on here in a while, but if you follow my page and look at my playlist, you'll see some of the videos that I've posted in the past. I'm coming back on here and there. I haven't committed to a particular day and time, although it is supposed to be Thursdays at 8 a.m. Anyway, if you are new and you like some of this travel content, and you want to know more from real people, I'm over 50, black solo, been out here almost 6 years, you guys. So if you want to know the real about travel, I've been to over 50 countries. Please click that subscribe button, that notification bell, and leave me a comment. All right, so the housekeeping is done and underway. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about this ATM versus Travelex versus taking cash out and then going to the currency exchange once you get into town, whether you should do it at the airport or not. I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. But the answer is no. You do not have to do that. Specifically, we'll talk about Thailand, and maybe when I talk about different countries, I'll add a little kind of topic line in for each particular country, because I'm going to tell you it might be different for each country. But I want y'all to remember it's 2026. So the things that we had to do back in 1999, 2012, 2015 even, we don't even have to do anymore. I will tell you guys, the last time I used like a Travelex service was when I went to, it was either Bali for the first time or China. I think it was China. And I had a cool 2 million. My first 2 million in hand, which was $200. That was probably the last time I used Travelex. So I'm going to tell you, a lot of people use those services, specifically Travelex in the United States, because number one, you do not have to physically go into a Travelex facility. You could actually do it by mail and pay like a $9.99 fee. I don't know what they're charging now, but that's what it used to be, and have that money delivered to you before you even, pack all your bags and get ready to go. That is typical things that people do who maybe are a little unsure about traveling, maybe have a travel agent, someone has advised you of that, maybe don't travel that often, aren't necessarily travel savvy per se, or something horrific has happened to you regarding money. And there are ways to prepare for that. So what happens though, because a lot of folks are like, well, why is it a bad idea if I get cash before I come? Well, it isn't necessarily a bad idea. But what happens is if you get too much, which tends to happen, then you're exchanging a couple of times, because if you don't spend all the cash, Then, and most people want to go, they'll go to the exchange booths inside the airport or wherever at the bank, and they'll exchange it again. So now you've exchanged twice, and the exchange rate changes per day based on the market. And so you may be losing more money by multiple exchanges. Whereas if you did one exchange, took out what you needed and only what you needed, then you'd be in a better position. And I know that's going to start a question. Well, how much do we need? How much money should I get out? Well, let me go ahead and preface this next statement. For people who travel like that, there's probably nowhere that you're going that does not have an ATM. There's probably nowhere that you're going, very few places that you're going that you can't use a credit card in 2026. I mean, there aren't a lot of places anymore that where you feel you need to get cash before you go. For the type of trip you're probably planning, that things either aren't already paid for you, if you're doing a package deal, or you're not already in a very select type of tour program that everything is already kind of laid out for you, so you don't have to worry about the scamming and stuff like that, right? So for the most part, a lot of times people get cash and then find out that a lot of the world, and I'll speak specifically about Thailand, a lot of the world is cashless. There are so many places here that won't even take your cash. Like, I'm sitting down in a new eatery kind of spot. Boom. And they have these all over the place. I like them because you bring your own food if you want, or you can buy the food here. But you can't pay for any of the food at the registers at the food booths with cash. You have to use a card. And if you guys follow me, you know, and I have more of these. I only have a couple with me now. You get these. That's not one, but you get these cards. And then here, they don't even give cards. They give like a receipt with a QR code. You have to pay into a machine or to a person, get something that they load your money onto, and then that's how you pay for your food. You need cash anyway, because a lot of times they won't take credit card at those, or I shouldn't say. You may or may not need cash. Some of them take credit card, some of them don't. So that would probably be the only time that you might need to get cash. But again, you can get a couple $100 depending on how many days you're staying. So that leads into another conversation of like, how much money do I really need? How much cash do I really need? To start off, for the most part, if you have a credit card, not a debit card, you have a credit card, use your credit card. Is my strong opinion. And the reason I say that is because you can fight fraudulent charges on a credit card way better, if you can at all, fight fraudulent charges on a debit card, even if it has the Visa logo on it. And that's just how things are, right? So for the most part, if you're out traveling, nowadays, you don't even really have to notify your bank that you're traveling. But most of them, if you are, concerned about that, or you're going somewhere where you might think it's sketchy, you tell your bank that you're going. That way you don't have any gaps when you're trying to use your card, because they may flag you that first or second time and you're trying to make a purchase, or you're trying to, book a flight last minute because somebody says, oh, let's go do this, or jump on a boat or something. I don't know. It depends. And it keeps declining it because your bank does not know if it's you or not, right? And so you got to go through all the rigmarole of going online or calling, trying to call. You probably don't have an eSIM, a phone number, or whatever you're using, Wi-Fi. You happen to be out, so you don't have Wi-Fi. So it leads to a myriad of things that can happen and that can delay whatever it is that you're trying to do. So if you have a credit card, bring a backup. You could leave it in your room or whatever the case may be. You guys, now we use wallets. So you got Samsung Wallet, you got Apple Wallet, you got Google Wallet. You can use all of these different wallets to pay, and you don't even need, and you can use your phone as a tap. So in Thailand specifically, which is very, very robust in their mobile money system. Um, there are a couple of other places that are just as robust, specifically in Africa and East Africa, that have really good mobile money systems. I've got videos on it. Check it out. Albeit a few years old, they're still very relevant. Um, but there is the money pay system here is just, I mean, hey. I can't say that. You have a long name from Indonesia. Welcome. I can't wait to get back to Indonesia. But yeah, so that's one of the things to be really kind of aware of is there's multiple ways to pay for things. And if you're already savvy and you already have some of these things, these tools and stuff on your phone, you can't necessarily walk up and use PayPal, but you may be able to use or sign up for um, pay pay mobile money systems like in Thailand, we use something called True Money, and that's a very easy one. You can use that at most 7-Elevens and eateries and like these little cafeteria style things. A lot of them take something called True Money. They take like firm money or something like that. Um, but you can find that out once you get here, and you can easily load it onto your phone for use, and then you can transfer the funds directly to that app so that you can use it during your stay. Another option, mobile money kind of option that a lot of people will tell you here because I don't want to, forget about the people who are traveling long term like I am. You're like, well, does this apply to me too? What if I'm going to be staying longer? Well, you guys probably already know about services like Wise or Will Remit or Remitly or um, I think that's some of the names of the platforms that allow you to transfer money from credit cards and or banks directly into currency on a card that you can use, a digital card or a physical card that you can use in different places. You can use it to pay your rent. You can use it to pay for different things depending on what type of platform you then transfer that money to. And usually you're only charged one time, a conversion fee one time, and a transfer fee one time, right? So that makes it really easy to use. But if again, you're only here for like 7 days, 14 days or something like that, you do not have to go and use Travelex, which I will tell you by far will have the worst exchange rate. Not always, very close to the worst exchange rate. If you're not worried about, $20 to $30, maybe even up to $50 in difference in the exchange rate, then go ahead by all means do it before you come. If that puts you at ease, makes you feel a little bit more comfortable, go ahead and do that. If you're a person like, okay, I know how to move around, I got my credit card, I have a debit card if I need to pull out some cash, so on and so forth, then I highly recommend just come and use the ATM. Now, to the ATM conversation. Everybody is like, well, God, those exchange rate fees, add up. I am going to concur. I will never tell you to don't worry about the exchange rates from an ATM. What I will tell you to do, however, is to make sure you get a credit card or a bank that reimburses you 100% for those fees. And they could be credit cards. There's different credit cards. And I don't have them listed out that offer those services. And they may change, so you always want to read that fine print. But this is one that has stayed true, and that is Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab Bank. Get you a Charles Schwab debit card. Put money on your Charles Schwab debit card. Withdraw from the ATM, any ATM, using your Charles Schwab debit card. I always pick without conversion so that, it does a conversion at the bank. But it doesn't matter because once a month I get all of my ATM charges, my fees reimbursed to me in my account. No extra fee for that. It's free. Get it before you leave because, of course, you can't get it when you move to another country. Go ahead and just get it. Use it as your travel ATM card. It is worth it. It is probably my savings grace over the 6 years that I have been traveling, I will tell you guys the amount of money that I have given these banks via ATM fees, paying rent, ATMs having cash limits on them. You can only pull out $500 worth or $400, and so or whatever, or the equivalent in their money, but you got to do it like 2 or 3 times, and then the ATM only allows you to do 2 withdrawals because it knows your card. All this crazy stuff. You don't have to worry about those types of things if you're using a reimbursed card. Even if you're doing it over and over multiple times, that fee will be reimbursed back to you. So, and I know it works 100% because I've been using my Charles Schwab card for a couple of years, y'all, and I was in this game for over 3 years before I got my card empty because I had some issues before. It was Charles Schwab. I think it was. Oh no, I'm thinking of Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, or TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab. Anyway, I had some issues before, and couldn't get my card here, so I had to go back to the States to get it. And I am not a frequenter of the United States. I usually come once a year. So when I miss the boat, I miss the boat, right? So, hey, you guys, welcome back. So if you guys have any questions or commentary about pulling out cash before you get to specifically Thailand, please let me know your thoughts and comments on it. So yeah, it's not something that you have to do. You do not have to use Travelex before you travel. I always say bring a debit card and a credit card. That way you've got a little bit of backup. Leave one in your safe in the hotel that you're staying in, or if you've got, again, using mobile money, have it available on your phone, because you can pay for most of your things via your mobile money. Okay, so it's one of those things. So when people say, the other thing that people say is, oh, I got scammed. I put my card in. Yeah, I got stories. This could be story time. I don't know if y'all want to hear, but cards being eaten by machines, or feeling that you were charged certain rates, or you didn't get all your cash. Things happen. I am not going to deny anyone's experience, because everyone's experience is their experience. But holistically, overall, I will say that it is very safe to use ATMs in Thailand. And you have the options, like, how people say don't use the ones that are on the street, because people put the little things you can do to test and make sure that nothing comes off of it. They don't have layers. I've never encountered that, not to say that it doesn't happen. Don't be using ATMs in sketchy places. I highly recommend not using ATMs outside of 7-Elevens, especially when it's really late at night. Don't do that. If you can get your cash, if you can plan for it, if you're staying in a nice hotel, a lot of times they have cash or ATMs inside the hotel or somewhere nearby. In the event you're staying in a hotel that does not have that, every single mall has it. Most of the train stations, whether it's the subway trains or the sky trains, have ATMs on the platforms. Those are safer to use. They're well lit. There's security all around, all kinds of things, so you can feel a little bit more comfortable using those. I highly just be mindful if you're out at 2 a.m. in the morning and you got to get cash, and you're in the backwoods of some nightclub or something, and you trying to get cash out of a machine. Just be those kinds of things. That's different. That's not everyday life. That's not everyday occurrences, things that happen. That is situationally not being prepared. Or if you're out and about and you lose all your money, somebody steals your wallet or something, that is an isolated incident. That's not indicative of what could happen. So with things like that, I will say don't carry all your valuables. We should kind of know that by now. If you're traveling and moving about, or you're touring all day, or you're going clubbing, Why would you take all of your valuables with you? Don't take all your cash with you. No one should know how much money you have. I know people who do that. I know people who leave stacks of bots sitting on the table and nobody ever touches it. Um, but a lot of times when we are out as Westerners, we're not necessarily always just partying with locals. We be partying with other Westerners, and maybe doing more damage sometimes than the locals. So I just want to be clear about some of these things, right? Um, and honestly, I am not saying yay or nay, do or don't, but I'm saying it is not necessary. It is not a requirement. It is not something that most of us, and I'm sure you can ask anybody who travels a whole lot, especially in Thailand, whether or not they suggest that you use a Travelex kind of service prior to actually arriving here. Most of them will say, no, it's not necessary. Okay, so I hope this is helpful because this is day and time right now here in May 2026. So I hope this information, kind of provides some guidance for you guys. The debit card that you should get to use the ATM, because I am not about giving people free money anymore. I mean, I'm telling you, if I could recoup all the ATM fees I've paid globally. I think the place I got hit the most was in Turkey because they didn't have a good mobile money system, like at all, and so everything had to be cash. So you're paying, you know, whatever the currency is called, I can't remember, but you're paying your rent, which was only like $400 or $500, but it took 3 withdrawals from the regular ATM to get the stack of Turkish I don't even know what it is out to pay your rent or whatever. And so that, I'm telling you, it would add up. It's like sometimes you can end up paying $16 to $30 in ATM fees. So don't be like me. I've probably given up to at least $500 in ATM fees in my travel life, before I got my Charles Schwab card. So yeah, you can get money beforehand if you want, but it is not necessary, especially if you're coming to Thailand. If you're going to a place that is really, really local, doesn't have a lot of infrastructure and development, and you are going to be in the backwoods buying food from street vendors and mom and pop shops literally from their house, then yes, you're going to want cash. But again, you can get cash. You can get cash when you arrive. The only time I would say be mindful of trying to get cash when you arrive is if you are landing in a place after normal business hours. So, like if the airport closes at 10 p.m., 12 p.m., whatever, because we always assume airports don't ever close. Airports don't close. That's not true. They close. And depending on the system that they have, they may not have, an ATM working because it might be a person. They may not have an exchange rate person. All of those types of things that you can find yourself in some, compromising situations, especially if you don't have things pre-planned, prepaid for. And I can tell you all the different ways that you can circumvent all of that. I've had things happen to me, like in Senegal. Once their airport shut down, they use physical bodies as banks, physical bodies as exchange, and they have little booths and they carry the money around. And so if they don't want to help you, even if they're sitting right there, they're not going to help you. And so you could find yourself caught, especially if there is no service to use a credit card with to pay for your transport. Okay, so but if you want to know about those things, that is relative to different countries. I've had some sort of a similar experience in Colombia when I arrived, and an experience in Senegal when I arrived at like 3 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah, it's different. It depends. But for Thailand, you are straight. They have so many different ways for you to spend money, pay with card, pay with mobile money apps, all kinds of things. You will be just fine. All right, you guys. All right, I'm out of here. If y'all have any other questions, please leave me some comments. And if this is helpful and you want to hear more, please say more in the comments, and or leave me a specific topic that you want to know about, and add it to the list of things that I can come on and talk to you guys about. All right, you guys. I am out of here. I hope y'all are going to be enjoying your day because I know it is early in the morning for you. It is almost 5 p.m. for me. And I'll see y'all next time. Y'all know the drill, tools and noodles. Peace and hair grease.